Welcome, dear Sangha, to our Path to Awakening question and discussion with our Venerable Khenpo Tenzin. Hopefully everybody is well and safe and healthy. And we will begin our session today in our Yellow Garchen Institute Buddhist Prayer Book. And we will do page 4 and 5 this morning. Until awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. Until awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. Until awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. May all mother sentient beings, limitless as space, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all mother sentient beings, limitless as space, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all mother sentient beings, limitless as space, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion.
Good morning, dear Dharma friends. First, I would like to ask 2 questions, and you can answer one. And after that, then we listen your questions and answer. So these 2 questions are you can answer for answer one, right? So the first question is, once you have began Dharma practice, what is the best experience you had of the directly benefiting? This is the first question. And then second question is, if the person you trust the most, who has clairvoyance, tells you if you dedicate all your wealth and possessions, give them all away this week, you will become Buddha next week. Would you do it? Why or why not? Clear? First question is, since you have begun Dharma practice, what is the best experience you had of the directly benefit? Personal. And then second is, if the person you trust the most, who has clairvoyance, tells you if you dedicate all your wealth and possessions, give them all away this week, you will become Buddha next week. Would you do it? Why or not? Why not? Okay, anyone? Yes, Eleanor. Good morning.
Just a question about the question. This person with clairvoyance, are they a Buddha or a human, or who is this? What do you mean by clairvoyance?
It's who really knows you will become Buddha next week or not, who directly knows, whose clairvoyance is through one's clairvoyance. That person could be eminent of Buddha, or it could be some higher practitioner or something.
Huh. All right. I'll go for the first one. I got to think about that for a while. My most wonderful experience, once I began taking instruction here in Boston, and it was a night class. It was a regular Monday night class, and it was the first time that we did the short version of Mother Tara, the Tara meditation. And I had this wonderful experience, vision that I have used ever since. And green Tara came way in the distance and then slowly got bigger and bigger. And then all of a sudden she turned into this beautiful white Tara that I didn't know who it was at the time. And absolutely beautiful. Anyway, these very soft, I don't know what you'd call them, sort of like if you can picture an octopus's arms, they're so wavy, and these arms came out of her like that. And at first it scared me, and then I thought, wait a minute, just be here. And they were so soft and warm and loving. I wrapped myself up in them. And then I realized that she was giving me some compassion. But I realized that in hindsight, because that weekend we had a retreat with a visiting Lama, and we could go ask him questions. And I had a friend that was going through some really hard stuff, he and his wife. And I asked him if there was any way to send compassion mentally, with this tradition. And he said, yes. And I said, please teach me. And he did. And he said, long story short, you inhale purification and exhale compassion. And I'm thinking, how do you exhale compassion? How do I connect it to this person? And all of a sudden it dawned on me to use the stuff that white Tara had wrapped around me. So I envisioned her and took all those arms and wove a blanket and then wrapped my friend up in the blanket and tried to focus. But it worked, because that was the first night that he got some sleep in 3 months.
Wow.
So, he said, please do that again. So I did it for a couple of weeks, and then he sort of, got his balance back. But I would have to say that was the first momentous, wonderful experience.
Absolutely.
Because it was so usable. It turned out to be so usable. So that's what I do.
Wow. Thank you very much. It's wonderful.
Yes.
Thank you. Mm. Who's next? Yes, Shana.
Okay. It's like so strong, so present. It's the experience, and it started with I got a job. Well, it's now 4 years ago, as a director of a health department here in Arizona, in a very conservative county, and I'm not a conservative person. In my philosophies and my approach and my thinking. And I felt like, oh, this is they really wanted me for the job. And I thought, well, they want me, so I'm going to show up as me, and I'm going to be really, I'm going to use it as my Dharma practice. And so it was a beautiful drive, and my commute was an hour and a half in the morning and an hour and a half in the night through this incredibly beautiful desert. And so I chanted a lot, and I listened to a lot of Dharma talks on my commute. And I really felt like I was traveling through that vast open space, and it was incredible. Then COVID hit, and so just for that time period of about 2.5 years, it really felt like it was beautiful. I mean, there was a very magical thing that was happening, and it was listening to people and people feeling empowered and really nice. And then COVID happened, and because it's a very conservative county, and the Board of Supervisors super conservative, there was a big issue about wearing masks and the right thing to do. There was some political changes, and things became very political in nature, and very, there were some people in high positions that were very self-serving. And I kept chanting, doing my mantra, listening to Dharma. And I just felt like I just wanted to keep receiving the guidance. And it was so amazingly protective. I just felt like I had this something where I could say exactly what I thought, what was the right thing to do. And there was a lot of animosity, but none of it towards me. Somehow they could be speaking to me, but it didn't ever hook me. And it just went around. And I was like, wow, the power and the protective ability of this. And then also how it helped me with my self-confidence to just speak, like what seemed truth, what was truth and what was important and what was protective of people. And then super interestingly, because of those political changes, we had one day in particular, and I was driving to work, and we were having a huge meeting about wearing masks and the mandate. And I felt this huge energy just come in and carry me through the day, and all the way, and just speaking really clearly, speaking directly, saying what I thought, what I believed was important, no animosity, but riling up a lot of other people. Like they were very not in line with what I was recommending, and felt very threatened by it. And then but I felt solid and I felt clear. At the end of the day, I was no longer the director. And I was like, wow, I've really, gone against the grain, but I still stayed steady. Like I still didn't feel hooked. And then, so I'm not there anymore as a job. And that for my ego was challenging, because I was like, wow, I only felt halfway through what I thought I could do there in terms of leadership. But what I realized with time is first I felt really good about being able to be a channel for that. And second of all, I realized not having that job, now I have the time to study the Dharma and to actually understand more of what carried me through those 3.5 years, which was super, oh my gosh, like I have so much faith from that experience because it's just so powerful and pure.
Wow, thank you very much. Wonderful.
Thank you for listening.
I really deeply rejoice that. Thank you. Okay, next. If you need repeat a question, please let me know. Oh yes, Gra Kuncho. Your name's Kuncho, right? Yeah, Graham Kuncho. Yes.
I think I'll take question number 2. You know, probably ask some other questions back. Like, questions before stopping everything.
Right now, your sound is mantra. It's good for meditation. But can you repeat? Oh, thank you.
No, we can't hear you. Your voice is breaking up a lot there. If you want, you can go into the chat and type in your question, and I will be happy to relay that message to Khenpo.
Next, first, write this question, right? Question. Yes, anyone would share in this moment? Yes, Rachel?
I'm going to answer the second question. Yeah, without a doubt, I would. I do that because I've recognized that everything here is impermanent. I've had everything that I ever wanted, everything I wanted to do. All these things brought temporary happiness. And even I found that it can even be happiness and suffering. But I feel like, yeah, I would totally do it for the benefit of others. Now, when you say the clairvoyant, if a clairvoyant person, if it were my internal guru or my guru, I would do it without a doubt. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Wonderful. Thank you. Okay, next. Who? Oh, yes. Eleanor?
I just wanted to say, I think it's interesting that we're taking so long thinking about the second question. I think that that's funny because I think it's a direct relationship to how much we're embroiled in samsara, you know, like being stuck in glue. And here's the opportunity to get out of it. And we're sitting here thinking about it. So I'm going to go for it.
Thank you. Yes, Golly?
Good morning, Khenpo. I have had at least a few really wonderful experiences that I can think of that didn't come from my practice directly, but from supplication and from like asking for help from my gurus, from like their realization, then I benefited. And I think the biggest thing that has come from those is that it's changed the way that I interpret things, the way I see things, and that's brought a tremendous amount of like decrease in the amount that I suffer. So that's my answer.
Thank you. Wonderful. Thank you very much. Martha?
So for the second question, I would go also for Rachel's answer. The answer is the same. I would say yes and give up possessings or whatever. And can you please repeat the first question?
Yes, of course. Since you have begun Dharma practice, what is the best experience you had of the directly benefiting?
It's to manage to stay calm in in the situations where I would most likely to get upset, and so therefore I could not get into a fight, but rather to suit the situation, to stay friendly.
Mm-hmm.
So I think is to calm down my afflictive emotions in the moment when it's needed.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, next. Oh, yes, Jay.
Morning, Khenpo and everyone. And I'll answer both because it'll be quick. So I'll go with the second one for the second question. And it would be, at first it was the brain scream, nope, not going to do that. No, it didn't say absolutely not, it didn't. And then stopping and looking at it again, it would be, so just real quick, it would be if Tara came down from the shelf or from the altar and stood in front of me and said that, the brain would first scream no, but there would be a yes, but the yes would be because I would realize that I'm really not losing anything. But what was most important is taking the time to pause. That to me was the most important, because then a decision could be made and not a reaction. For the first one, the direct experience was seeing that the mind had slowed. Well, no, I'll go with a different one. The direct experience was understanding direct experience. By that, what I mean is experiences are different, and that they're stored differently, and that there are some that are automatic, and some that come later, and some that even come later with more space between when it happens and when the action is taken. So for me, that was being able to sense that compendium of experiences was extremely helpful. Extremely helpful.
Thank you very much. Wonderful. Thank you. How about Graham? Oh, couldn't talk. Oh.
Can try again. Hello.
Hello.
It's a little better. We can give it a go.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I was going to answer question number 2. And probably not would be the answer. Questions back to this trusted person. Like practical things.
Can you?
So I heard we heard some of the answer that said probably not. Is that right? And then because I didn't necessarily heard that. I can kind of speculate the reason it was, but I didn't really hear exactly. You said there was practical. You enjoyed practical things, or I heard practical things, and I heard the word trust.
I would like to ask questions back.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Yes, yes. Of course, please.
So he said...
Well, because there are practical things I need in life, no?
Oh, yes.
Responsibility, job, have to pay the rent, these things. So I would ask questions back. What happens with this?
Right. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, that's absolutely great. We have to utilize our spiritual wisdom when we are practicing devotion. That is very important. Now, if you have answered these my questions, or you have some questions, either one, okay? So. Oh yes, Shauna, yeah.
I know that we've talked about this before, but if it's possible, I would really like to hear again about what Dharmakaya, Sambhogakaya, and Nirmanakaya is.
Oh yes. This the first we have to understand what is Nirmanakaya. because this is pretty easy to understand. The externally, Nirmanakaya means the gurus, spiritual gurus, and masters, and then Buddha's teaching books, and then the other who person who makes happy us and who help us, they're all anyhow the kind people, all the person who has a Buddhichitta in their mind, they are including Nirmanakaya. But the real Nirmanakaya, who is Nirmanakaya, we can say that the gurus, they are Nirmanakaya. And then this is a little externally. But then internally, the overall Nirmanakaya is over compassion and Buddhichitta. Especially Buddhichitta, this Buddhichitta is usually we say it is a very important any way of practice. The reason is the Buddhichitta is a resource of joy and happiness. So internally, Nirmanakaya is this, and then externally, Sambhogakaya are the most of these Yidam deities. We can say the we can see them through Tanka. So we can identify they are Sambhogakaya. And then Nirmanakaya is we can identify like a Vajradhara and Samhita Badara. They are the Nirmanakaya. Externally, I mean, but then the reality of Sambhogakaya and Nirmanakaya, still there are different classifications in our body about channels, winds, and drops. Through this way, we can see three kind of these kayas, and the through realizations, as I already mentioned, when we project our compassion and Buddhichitta, this is Dharmakaya's activities. We call it Nirmanakaya. And then we compassionately act, compassionately, and through Buddhichitta, we help other sentient beings. At that time, other sentient beings or other sanghas appears some kind of different forms and colors. They are their Sambhogakaya. And our practitioners, when we generate compassion to Buddhichitta for the sake of mother sentient beings, at that time we have some arise, joy, happiness. These are the Sambhogakaya. And then Dharmakaya is when we are in the practice, then we have special realization, which is non-duality. Non-duality means the this non-duality is beyond the conception or perception. It is beyond the thoughts. But the beyond the thoughts, it does not mean beyond the thoughts means the thought itself non-dual. So there's no difference. Samsara and nirvana, there is no difference between good and bad, you know. So they all in the intrinsic awareness, they all equally emptiness. This emptiness is also not just nothingness. Nothingness, or it is not just nothing. Emptiness means it is just we can appears them in our mind, but then from themselves colorless, formless, and there is how to say they are beyond the suffering and beyond the impermanence. So it's like a empty space, but then it's not exactly the empty space, because right now we say empty space means nothing, this part, but the Dharmakaya is beyond the nothing and beyond the exist. So this part, Dharmakaya, is we cannot pointing out, but we can experience oneself when we meditate, and then this realization arises in the mind. So this part is we cannot explain exactly, because that's natural. That's where in the Paranjaparim Heart Sutara, the beginning verses, it says, beyond speak, beyond the explanation, beyond the reflection or reflecting. So the three kayas are like that. Are you clear?
Just a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
a little.
Yes.
Thank you, Khenpo.
You are so welcome. If it's not clear, you can repeat. Okay.
Okay.
Which part unclear you can ask.
I think what I'm unclear about is like it seems to me like the empty essence is in each of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't understand really, I guess Sambhogakaya I don't feel very clear about.
Mm-hmm.
Dharmanakaya I feel like maybe I can relate a little bit to this sense of an empty essence in some of my meditation practices, or in some of I think that Nirmanakaya, I feel like I can have a sense of what compassion in action,
Mm-hmm.
feels like. But Sambhogakaya, I don't quite have a sense of.
Sambhogakaya, right?
Yes.
Yes. So the first you think, these three kayas are existing in your mind, in your life or in your mind. So you should identify that my Buddhichitta and compassions are Nirmanakaya, because they are for welfare mother sentient beings. And when you arise compassion to Buddhichitta, it depends the how much experience. When we have accumulate more experience about Buddhichitta, when we arise Buddhichitta, it's naturally arise happiness. This is deep happiness. So this part we call the Sambhogakaya.
Okay.
And but then externally Sambhogakaya appears as through like a rainbow colors. For example, in the space there are clouds, they are Nemanakaya, and rains, they are Nemanakaya. After the rainbow appears, Sambhogakaya is very same like that. We appear some different colors. Sometimes we recite a mantra, and then we visualize the garland mantra. The mantra, the garland in clockwise or anti-clockwise, and then slowly there radiates lights. They are appears in our mind. They are appear in our mind, but these are the Sambhogakaya.
Thank you. What helped me was the rainbow after the rain.
Oh,
that analogy helped me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. Next.
Graham, there's a question here that Graham wrote. So there's 3 types of bodhicitta.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, like the king.
All right.
Shepherd and ferryman.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any commentary about them? Is there one that's easier than the other, or do you have any advice or otherwise about it?
Thank you very much. Just this Tuesday I thought about that. So if I cannot make very clear, you can listen again in last Monday, Tuesday teachings. I taught these 3 types of Bodhichitta, and this actually it says first is like a Bodhichitta of king. Second is Bodhichitta of the boatman. Third is shepherd. So among them, the first Bodhichitta of king, that means it's like a Buddha Amitabha, Buddha Amitabha who practiced like a Bodhichitta of king. That means first, the kings first they think, oh, I'm going to become king for the sake of mother sentient beings. After I become king, then I use my powers and my abilities, and I will benefit mother sentient beings. So this is the Bodhichitta practicing of king. So Amitabha Buddha, he did that. He said, oh, I'm going to create special Pure Land, very easy to rebirth that Pure Land, and I will remain there, and then I will teach there continuously, and I will liberate all mother sentient beings. So this is the like a Buddhist practitioner of the king, right? And then second, boatman is that practitioner, Buddhist practitioner, think like this. I am also going to liberate from samsara. This is not for the sake of myself. This is for benefiting mother sentient beings. And at the same time, I am going to liberate all mother sentient beings. So this is the reason to call boatman means what is called who's drive the boat? Boatman, right? Captain, who is also in the boat, and there are other people are also in the boat, but then they are cross the ocean or rivers together. So kind of this practice is the second one. Buddhichita practitioner like boatman. Sometimes it's called sacred, right? Sacred. The boatman, I think. Boatman, yeah. Then third one is the practitioner of Buddhichita, who is like a shepherd. Shepherd. Thank you. So these Bodhisattva, they say, I don't want to become Buddha. I'm going to liberate all mother thinking beings, and then I should become Buddha. So that means the reason this example is shepherd. They collect sheep from mountainside. They take care sheep in the mountainside, and evening they move or all the sheep inside of their fence, and then they lock the door. They collect sheep in, and then they put them in the put them or draw them in their fence, and then they feed some food and give some waters, and then they lock the door from outside. That means thieves cannot take them away, especially in Tibet. Many there are bear, right? Bears, if they don't protect well sheep and a goat, then the bear come and they take them away. That's why they carefully close the door, and then some dogs let them protect. Some dogs protect them, and some this shepherd, they will not sleep in their own house. They sleep in the next the door of the fence where there are sheep. So anyhow, among them, highest practicing is actually the shepherd. Practitioner are the shepherd. So these are the three types of Buddhichita practice. Okay. Yes, Eleanor. Can you? Oh yes.
Tuesday, there was a story you told us about Milarepa in reference to Bodhichitta, how he's in the hell realms, and then he offered to help his friend out, and you said he was reborn in the God realm. But anyway, my question is, there was also something you stated clearly twice, so I wrote it down, and I would like to understand something. The fruition of one's own karma must be experienced by one's own self. Okay, so that makes sense. I mean, any of this stuff, you have to experience it. Otherwise, the book learning just doesn't work. But having said that, how does it work? Can you explain it? When you were talking about the exchange of self and others, to cure sickness, and May all sentient beings become well through my sickness. How does that help them to experience their fruition of their karma if I'm taking it away somehow? That seems to be the way I'm understanding it, which makes no sense. So if the fruition of one's own karma must be experienced by one's own self, in this exchange with other, it seems like I'm taking away their karma, which first seems like a good idea, but how do they get enlightened then if I'm taking away their opportunity to experience their own fruition of their karma? Do you understand what I'm trying to understand?
I think I understand, and of course, if not, please let me help. So, in the Mahayana teaching, there's a saying, if you more benefit for mother thinking beings, and then it accomplished your wish. It accomplishes your wish.
Okay.
So that is a very true. We have to know through this way. For instance, Shakyamuni Buddha, he practiced through his body, speech, and mind for the sake of mother thinking beings, but he became enlightened. He became Buddha. This is what he did. Then he experienced that fruition. At the same time, how he can benefit for others. He became pre-nirvana almost 2600 years ago, but his teachings liberate thousands of practitioners. Right now, we have a special relation with Milarepa, Yogi Milarepa. He became completely enlightened because of Buddha. Without Buddha, then Milarepa right now, of course not Buddha, and probably he was in the very serious realm because of he accumulated some non-virtue, serious non-virtues. So this is the kindness of Buddha, you know. And then Milarepa liberated how many practitioners, for example. Right now in our mind, especially read Milarepa's songs, even though read one sentence, it makes warm in our mind. It makes some different. There is some 1 minute. For 1 minute, we have some special feeling. That is kindness of Milarepa, something like that. So liberate means there are different ways to liberate. Liberate, it does not mean always completely liberate, you know. For instance, right now we are take this time and for 2 hours. During the 2 hours, if we are enjoy, happy, that is also we can call liberate. So this is still pretty 2 hours. This is 2 hours, right? But when we meditate, if we meditate for 1 hour, but we have arise happiness for 1 second. That is also we call liberation. So liberation has different layers. So something is externally or completely liberate. Something is momentarily liberate. But the momentary liberation is like a letters. If you are going to go up the roof of house, each and every steps of letter is very important for us. We cannot fly on the roof, we cannot jump, so we have to come step by step through these steps of letter. So same like we liberate from step by step. That's why the main benefit is to receive oneself, and at the same time can benefit, as right now I offer you this example. So yeah, are you make sense?
I'm with you. I'm not sure where you're going, but I understand that there are levels of liberation. I mean, you know, I get that, but that's everybody's individual liberation, you know, like my liberation, but how, I'm not clear yet on how my liberation lets them experience the fruition of their liberation.
Oh.
I don't, I feel like if I do it for somebody, then I'm taking away something from them that I can't do, because then they don't get to do what they need to do. Like experience their own fruition.
I understand now. These Buddha said that my own realization cannot bring from my mind through my hands, and I cannot put in your mind. But he said, I teach nature state of mind. I teach the reality of interdependence and emptiness. I teach the nature of samsara and the nature of nirvana. And then you practice it. And then you erase the realization same like my realization. You know, Shakyamuni Buddha's realization and Milarepa's realization has no different. No, some is higher, some is low, not like that. So that's why we cannot bring our realization from our mind, and we cannot put it in somebody's mind. But through the teachings, we can blossom their method, spiritual wisdom. We can blossom their spiritual wisdom, and then they have to promote, they have to progress through their diligence and practice. Then they will liberate.
Okay, so I was understanding this wrong, I think. All right.
Actually, yes, you go ahead.
Oh, I was just thinking, I have written down here, take in person's problems with the in-breath, breathe out the problems with the out-breath. So when you breathe in, you take the other's problems in and then breathe them out. But if I take their problems, then how do they get to experience
Oh, yes, that's interesting.
There.
Yes, who the master who bring these, that is, you know, uh, it when we talk about that, it's a very much related to cause and effect. For example, somebody threw stone to that dog, but the master who sit on throne and teaching, and then this stone effect the master's back. And then how come this? That means that dog already has wonderful karma, because there are thousands of dogs, but among them only one dog just being in front of that master's, especially during that master's teaching, and somebody thrown that stone in front of these masters. So that means that dog already accumulated wonderful karmas. So always for ripening karma, we need condition. So that dog has auspicious condition at that time. And then this master also have the power, ability to bring these dogs suffering at that time. So that's why this is a very rare, because of most of these thinking beings, especially who rebirth in the lower realms, they accumulated lots of afflictive emotions. So among them, just a few, it's a very possible, like they accumulated wonderful karmas. So that's why it happened just in some few lives. But this is related karma. So then that happened. Otherwise, it will, as well you said, we cannot bring others suffering completely. But then sometimes this can do it. So this is it's like two hands. If there are two hands, then these two hands claps, then sound comes up. Sounds comes. Similarly, this depending with both side of karmas.
So in that particular instance, do you mean that because the Buddha, the guru, could take the dog's pain away, that made the dog happier? And, because now he didn't have the pain in his back from the rock being thrown at him. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I mean, this guru took this dog's obstacle. He brought that. This dog's obstacle he brought. So then that dog has not that suffering. This is a manifestation, right? If the main thing is this is related to cause and effect.
So when we say all mother sentient beings, and we're talking about that, we're talking about an immediate small relief of pain. Is that what you mean?
The other sentient beings?
All the prayers, we're always going all sentient beings. A lot of the regular routine daily prayers. Okay, talking about all mother sentient beings, relieving suffering. So what we're doing by trying to do that is that we're lessening their pain on a
That's absolutely. Even we recite a single mantra, single syllable mantra, it reduces their non-virtue. That means if you play music, that music listen somebody, some animal, at that time they have erased little kind of feeling of interesting or kind of a feeling of happy, you know. So that is also a benefit for them. So it's somebody continuously noisy, makes
I see.
noisy by some horrible sound. If someone stopped half second, that is also at that moment they stop this bothering, and same like that. So anytime I give you other example. If somebody's hand burned by fire, and then this hand is very pain, and then we tried to liberate from this pain, and then for that reason we show it again on the fire. At that moment this pain remove. Do you know that this hand, this pain remove means is avoid in the moment. So these kind of, and another example is if your air has many comes in water, and usually you already have water, then maybe we try to take them away through some cotton, right? Cotton or some other things. It's dry things. It's actually best thing. But some case, if you have water in your ears and then pour water, that take away that water. So kind of this is a special kind of interdependence. So spatial interdependence are related to cause and effect. Then cause and effect is related oneself's action, you know, in this life or previous life or something. So, and the Mother Earth, if I am talking about Mother Earth, is very big. We think this is a very big. But the cause of this Mother Earth established by 8 particles. If we go deep about these 8 particles, each particle is a very small than the egg of a bed bug. Egg of a bed bug. So but then they established this very big Mother Earth, you know. Same like that, the mother thinking beings are in the ocean of suffering, but we recite a single syllable mantra, it will benefit them. But this benefit is a small benefit. You are right. If we compete, the suffering and the benefit very small, but we can make it bigger and bigger and bigger.
All right, I think it's becoming clearer. So if we relieve their suffering, even for just a little bit, little short time, you know, it gives them some measure of happiness, which might enable them, depending on where their karma is, to look around and grow.
Again, this part. Buddha's teaching, actually all of Buddha's teachings are including one word. That is tame your mind. All the Buddha's teachings, Sutara, higher vehicles and middle, lower vehicles and Vajrayana, everything's including tame your mind. But then Buddha taught 84,000 scriptures. That means it these mother sentient beings need benefit step by step. So first we talk about Dharma, someone may have no interest in, and then we talk about some kind of Buddhichitta, and then they have little interest in what is Buddhichitta. And then we let them meditate Buddhichitta for a little while. They have arise little enthusiasm in the mind. And then slowly they grow this experience, and then they extremely blossom in the Buddhichitta in their
And
mind.
that's their experiencing the fruition of their own karma.
Yes.
Okay, now I got it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Rachel? Yeah. Your hand up, right?
Khenpo Tenzin,
Uh-huh.
I have a question that I think
Shona.
is related to Eleanor's. It's the same question, but a little different maybe is, so with doing Nondro, yesterday I had this experience of, just like how we live in such a divisive world right now, and how I just feel like many people, so much deep grief at what we're doing to the earth, and in such a rapid way. And I had this experience yesterday with a feeling of such my heart broke over hearing a person talk about how sort of their anger and their determination. And usually I feel like, oh my gosh, this way of thinking is part of what's contributing to so many problems right now. And that's my response. And a different response yesterday was that my heart felt broken at the place they were at, because they were so in their, which I can be too, but they were so in their, it just was so sad, like the need for love and being held. And that's how it seemed to me. And in that moment, I felt like, wow, if I could respond instead of feeling angry or frustrated, but with a deep, deep sense of love, acceptance, and compassion for this person, and how I understand maybe their experience that is leading them to grasp so tightly to old ways or old habits. But then I get a little bit hung up on that's going to take so long, and we don't have time in this. It seems like climate-wise, we really don't have a lot of time to make big differences. So I'm wondering, and then you talked about interdependent spirituality. So is there, things that maybe I definitely don't understand, but can have faith in this process that it will lead us we're not just towards devastation? Sorry.
Thank you. It's I need a little clear. Can you repeat? Mm-hmm. Through our practice?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, this we say this is a degenerate time. So that's why people's actions very much flowed by the river of afflictive emotions. That's where there is lots of the actually Guru Pema Sambhava, he said, time is not change, but people's mind change, and then people's action changed. That what we call time is changing. So that's why in degeneration time, people have more strong these defilements and so on. Through this way, they create a lot of cause of sufferings. So then for us, the practitioners, we have also power, which are the power of Bodhichitta. The fundamental power is Buddha nature. This power is unchangeable power. It's a very certain. The reason is nature interdependence. Nature interdependence. So we have this the fundamental, the first power. Second, then we establish the Buddhichitta and compassion and other the Dharma practices as preliminary practices. So they have also power. So then these power can remove these sooner or later can remove those sufferings of this degenerate time. This is, for example, in the sky, maybe we said, in the sky, we have only one sun. Right now we have only one sun. But then this sun removes thousands of darkness which are in different rooms, in different caves or different locations. So this is, but this step by step remove. So similarly, our practices are like the sun. The benefits are like the sun's ray. And our Buddhichitta and compassion are the sun's warmth. Then that's where we can remove all of this ignorance in people's mind. That's why we remove their step by step. For that reason, we have a wonderful power, and we can benefit inconceivably. We can benefit. Actually, these benefits are really inconceivable, because this benefit is cause of future enlightenment, future Buddha. So now we are practicing the preliminary practice, and then this is real cause of our future Buddha. And after we become Buddha, then already you ask this question, what are the three kayas? We can benefit through three kayas. So that's where I said Shakyamuni Buddha, he become Dharmakaya. He comes as a Nirmanakaya, but then he become Dharmakaya, and then his benefit. This book is his Nirmanakaya. This morning we recite. And right now we are questions and answers. I don't mean I am the Nirmanakaya, but our talking, which is Dharma, your questions and our answers and the questions, all of them are Buddha's activities. You know, that's why we can purify these sufferings step by step. Is it clear?
What helped me with the clarity was the sun. And because I tend to think kind of linearly, about time and about how things will happen. But what helped me is thinking about the sun and how it truly illuminates hundreds of bazillions of areas at the same time with light and with warmth. And it makes sense to me that to contribute to that process makes sense.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Khenpo Tenzin.
Okay, Rachel. Yes.
Hi.
Through the practice of exchange of self and other, I've seen through experience how that has directly impacted the well-being, mental and emotional well-being of others. But could you explain a little bit more about, like, if you wanted to take on physical ailments, sicknesses of others, how would that visualization be different?
Physical.
Sicknesses.
Oh, yes.
How is that different? Like the visualization of that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yes, this is a when we see people are sick, and first we have to generate compassion. If that person recover from this sickness or illness, then it's like I'm so happy if that person liberate from this sickness. Kind of this way we are training. We have to training like through this way, and then how to take is as I mentioned a story. One daughter and mom, they both took away the river. So the mom thought, if I am die in the river, okay, but I hope and wish my daughter will not. And then her daughter also think like that. Through this way, that means sometimes we cannot, what to say, bring exactly that disease for us. For example, if one person has coronavirus, and then we go there, I say I'm going to take your coronavirus, but both has the coronavirus. It cannot remove others' coronavirus disease. So the thing is, how to do is we have to generate Buddhichitta, which is if that person's illness come in my body, I can through this way. Sorry, let me repeat this. If this person's disease come on my body, through this way, if that person recovered from this sickness, I definitely do it. So you need that courage, right? This courage comes from Bodhichitta. And then this is this motivation or this motivation is occurring from your compassion, the Buddhichitta. And this is for that reason, this motivation is a very true and pure motivation. So then how first we will arise this motivation is we have to think it's same. When I am headache, how I have suffering. When I am hurt my back, how I am suffering. It's same like others. No, there is no any single different. Same feeling. They have sensations. They have blood in their body. They have feeling. It's provide every their body. The same. There's no way any single different others and myself. That's where it's you strongly arise your Buddhichitta in your mind, and then you can if I have had that. So this feeling is we training through our family and friends. That is the best way to develop. So
let's say you have the motivation and you have the bodhicitta and you can equalize it. So then how how do you do the transaction? Like, that's so hard. I don't know. Like, how does that exchange happen? I can, it's easy to visualize and do that, I think, with mental and emotional things, but with like physical things, I don't understand how that happens.
Mm-hmm. Your Bodhichitta is like a hook, and their suffering is like a fish. Then your power of Bodhichitta bring them. Otherwise, as I mentioned, that we cannot bring this through the some physically. If we say, give your sufferings in my hand, they cannot give it, so we cannot take it. But the power for your Bodhichitta, you can bring them sometimes.
Didn't you say the thing though with like the hand clap thing? Like if both and they have the right karma, it can happen, can't it?
Absolutely. That is they already need that karma, because they already accumulate that karma. Someone will take this suffering. So.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Okay, next. Oh yes, Jay.
So this is less of a question and more of an observation from a Western mind.
Mm-hmm.
From a Western mind, when I was discussing with some of the individuals, my Western individuals who are Zen Buddhists and, from different Tagar and that type of thing. One thing that we noted was that we had been very well trained for our intellectual mind, or we've been very well trained and we're very well versed in that. And from my perspective, there was little training of the mind. It was trained from the Western culture. What I had learned was the training of the intellect. That the Dharma teachings are now the training of the mind. And that's been very helpful, so that when I listen to teachers, you and a Chan teacher especially, but you're talking from the Dogen standpoint, which is, for the Western mind, that was very hard for me to wrap around, that to not intermingle the intellectual training that I had and to start fresh with mind training, and to start at, just like I was a preschooler in mind training. And that's been extremely helpful for me. So an example of that would be, if I have two books, I have Alice in Wonderland in this hand, and I have a Windows 10 technical manual here. If I try to cut out sentences from here and put it into the Alice in Wonderland book, it's not going to make sense. Or if I try to read one book and the other. So I try to set my mind, and you helped me with this, Khenpo, which was set my mind to set the intention of listening to the Dharma and into a Dharma mind set before I listen to any Dharma's teachings. And that's helped me, and I can hold both of those, but the understanding comes easier. So that's just been my help. That's been a helpful hint, and I thank you for that.
Thank you very much. Thank you. If I ask, skasa, right? Skasa. Saskia.
Saskia. Yeah. Yeah. The most touching experience, but it's of course not by me, but because of my Lama, was when my mother-in-law was dying. Then he came with another to pray for her, and she was Christian, so she was always a little bit against Buddhism. But anyway, I don't know these Christian prayers, so then she wanted to do prayers, and then I said I can do the Buddhist prayers, and she liked it very much. And at the end of the story, she died. She was 98, very loose of everything, and then my Lama came to do Poa, and then it was such a strong emotion, like so immediately all lights, and then I was almost fainting. Then I thought, okay, this is the power of the Dharma. So yeah, this is very vivid experience.
Wow.
That's it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Linda? You're this. Oh, can you hear me? Oh, I'm sorry. Uh-huh. One minute. Linda, can you hear me? Yes. Uh-huh.
Hello, Khenpo Tenzin.
Hi.
Hi. Well, I don't know. I mean, I've been having a lot of good experience since I start Dharma practice. So I really don't know how to choose. But the first one is when I dream with Guru Rinpoche, Guru Pampasambhava.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, I didn't know who was him.
Mm-hmm.
And never heard his name, nothing about it.
Uh-huh.
And it was very powerful dream because I don't know how to explain the dream also, but I see Guru Rinpoche so big,
Mm-hmm.
and then he kind of like a stream
Mm-hmm.
entered my heart
Mm-hmm.
and say to myself, origin.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, I didn't know what is origin. Origin, I think was the word. Origin? I don't know. Origin.
Uh-huh.
You understand the word, right? Origin. He entered my heart. He made himself big.
Uh-huh.
And then he shrank.
Uh-huh.
And then he kind of like entered in my heart.
Oh.
So strong. And then he said origin to me.
Oh, origin. Oh, uh-huh.
Origin. And
Uh-huh.
at that time, I didn't know what's origin. Nothing about it. Nothing. So.
Wow.
So then I wake up and I said to myself, oh, this is very strong because I feel my heart pumping. And it changed my life at that time because I started to reading about Guru Pampasambhava and all about him.
Mm-hmm.
And then I understand everything. And then since then, I look at the website, then I found Garchen Rinpoche. Then I entered last year on the Guru Rinpoche practice.
Mm-hmm.
Last year.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't have the refuge, nothing about it. I don't know anything. I mean, maybe from my heart, from my past life, I knew because I always liked Tibet for some reason. I'm from Mexico, but for some reason, my heart goes to Tibet and Buddhism, but I didn't have the time to learn about Buddhism and all that. Since last year, about the coronavirus, I stopped working. And then I found myself to have a lot of time to read and study. So that's kind of like my best experience. Since then, I start practicing with all of you and with other lineages. And I've been having dreams with Tara, with Amitabha Buddha, with Green Tara, also with Naljam. The last retreat, I remember I saw you on the Naljam practice from Long Life Guardian Rinpoche. I had a dream with her. And since then, that's all my experience. I've been having rainbow experience. I kind of like having dream myself not having a body, only like floating on the space. And then I found myself more happy than before, less worry, less anxious. And yes, that's all I can say.
Wonderful.
That's my experience. And yeah, thank you for listening to me.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank
And
you.
for second question, I will also say to my, you said guru, the clairvoyance person, right?
Yes.
That I will say, I kind of like said no to him because before I need to train more myself to be a Buddha, to become more enlightened, and I don't know, maybe I need more power to help beings. Maybe I would say no because I'm not ready yet.
Oh, thank you very much. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you. Shakti or MC Meg or Elia or Trisha. Okay, I will. First, I would like to say the first my opinion about Jay. You said about that. It's I really deeply thank you, and the usually the intellectual, right? Intellectual thinking is and experience are there are difference that we all know difference, and the intellectual inside also has different layers, and sometimes the of course the experience is principle, and intellectual thinking also sometimes benefit it is depending the practitioners, right? They really receive some benefit through intellectual way of thinking, but you know that just I share about that my opinions. And then Lida, as you said that actually the over devotion is like a ring, and then guru's power are like a hook, as I already made that example. So when we have to follow gurus at that time, if we can develop the over devotion, then that is actually we call it a guru's blessing is like a hook, and over devotion is like a ring, and then that hook pick up the ring. We say that, but sometimes over devotion is also can be like a hook which bring the guru's qualities. So how much we can bring guru's qualities, then over realization increase. It's over realization increase, extremely increase. So yeah, these are the, as you all know about the intellectual way of thinking and the devotion. You all know, so actually, but just I say that because I mean the sometimes we when we help others at that time, then we have to know our friends or practitioners who has which part they have more interesting and something like that. And so just I share about that, but you all know about this. And okay, then any questions?
Khenpo, I have one question.
Uh-huh.
Since then I practice, but I didn't know I had to take refuge.
Uh-huh.
I took empowerments and all that. And is there any negative action I made for doing that? Just by practicing without taking refuge? Because I find myself knowing what am I doing when I was practicing. Even I don't know before, but somehow I know, like if I know it, how to practice. And then I start to reading more and more and listen to your teaching, listen to other teachers, and I kind of understand very easy. So I don't know. What could you advise me? Or
yes.
If I did something wrong by taking empowerments without refuge or practicing without taking refuge. And then I took the refuge, and then since I took refuge on December, I think I sent my refuge vow online. But before I didn't know I need to take refuge. Is there any negative karma from that?
Not, thank you. It's not negative karma, but the benefit is little difference, because but of course you will not regret what you did. So this is not for thinking about past, it's for the future. So if you don't take a refuge vow, and after you take refuge vow, practice as both are virtues. Both are virtues, because any kind of your dharma activities are virtues. Only thing is the power has little different, which means if after you took refuge vow, then your any other practices have more benefit and more power than the before you take a refuge vow. It's same like a Buddhichita practice. When we practice Buddhichita, we can, whether we are not Buddhist, still we can practice Buddhichita, but after we took the vow, then it has more power. So the thing is, the power has every powers are included in 3 powers. The power of my mind, that your mind. At that time, we're calling about it's related to the vow. And then power of the Buddhas and Tathangatas and Bodhisattvas. This is second power. And the third power is power of natural phenomena. These 3 powers gathering together, then it has great powers. So there is no non-virtue, but different powers. Thank you. Okay.
Sorry, Khenpo, could you repeat those 3 powers again, please?
Oh yes. Power of one's mind, right? One's mind. Power of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and Tathangatas. And then power of natural phenomena. Natural phenomena means natural, like interdependence.
That's really helpful. Thank you.
Oh, you are so welcome. Thank you.
I have a quick question about a white sambala. In the section there, it says Samaya seal, 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 and then you hit the singing bowl, and then you hit it again. What exactly are we supposed to be doing during that part? And what are we sealing?
The what sealing, right?
Yeah. So why do we say Samaya seal, 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 and then what are we supposed to be doing when you hit the bowl, the sound, and then hit it? It's just twice.
Yes.
What do we do there? Thank you.
You are so welcome. Actually, seal, seal, seal means there are different meanings. The first meaning is when Guru Rinpoche and other Therma masters, they hid their Therma object under the stone or into the water or in the cave or somewhere. Then seal, seal, seal means it's how many numbers seal, seal. That means it's not allowed open by some ordinary people. It will not allow to take away by some spirits, ghost, and so on. That means they let them bring. Only they can bring by some who has a great karma to open this. So through this way we say seal, seal means that. And then here in the Zambala, in this case, we can understand that is seal, seal means we dissolve over the intrinsic awareness is spontaneously remain in our mind. And then what we have to seal them is our Buddhichitta sealed. And then Buddhichitta sealed in this intrinsic awareness. That means then our the Buddha nature start to arise.
So what do we visualize then once you hit the sound of the singing bowl?
Let me say a few things here. If there's different things, if you are remain in the natural state of mind, and then you arise Buddhichitta, that is called the seal. And also, if you arise Buddhichitta in your mind, and then you are not yet realized that is emptiness or some non-duality or the view of Mahamudara, and then that means you seal means this Buddhichitta combined with the realization of emptiness. So that is the first one, and then second one is you say why we use this begging bowl, right? This is the reason is first we hit this. That means you are ready. You just ready means you just focus on that object, and then this sound is coming, and then you just focus. You remain on there, and then this sound finished. At the same time, you should be in non-duality. Then you should stop the perception, the dualistic perception, right? Dualistic perception. So you should remain in non-duality, non-dual.
So when you hit it the second time, what's happening there?
After, right?
Yeah, the second one, the second ring.
Second ring is the practitioner who remain in the natural state of mind. It's I think many practitioners experience. Sometimes they keep going continuously, but right now we are practicing with group practice. That's where you have this physical time is important. So it's time to lunch or it's time to some dedication or something. That's where that means it's ready to come up from your post meditation. That's science. This.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Oh yes, Eleanor. Does it work now? Oh yeah.
I can wait. I can wait.
No, you. I can't hear you.
What's the difference between bodhicitta and compassion? Because they're not the same exactly.
Right. The way of practice, there are different. The differences are these. Both Buddhichitta is including love, and compassion is also including love. But the difference is when you focus on the object, at that time you have a different motivation. You have a different aspiration. The aspiration of compassion is, if I see one person suffering there, I think, may this person liberate from this suffering. This aspiration we call compassion. And then Buddhichitta is, after this person liberate from this suffering, still this person, may this person be happy, being happy. And may this and are you clear? May this person be happy. And sometimes that person has not particularly suffering. I mean, we can't see this particular suffering, but we think, or may this person enjoy, and may this person happy. Just we aspirate, we arise aspiration like that. This motivation we call Buddhichitta.
So the motivation is bodhicitta and the action is the compassion.
This is it's yes, actually yes. This understanding is very good too, but they are different. Right now, I just try to say some simply. Otherwise, Buddhichitta means may these thinking beings become Buddha. This is Bodhichitta. May these sentient beings liberate from suffering. This is compassion.
Ah, gotcha. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. Shihab, right? Shihab or Elia or Shikati or oh yes. Hi. Good morning.
I'd like to share an experience that happened with me. I watched a video for His Eminence Gachin Rinpoche about sleeping in the lotus position, and he says that visions should appear. So I tried to meditate during my sleep, and in the third day, a vision appeared, and I saw my friend, and I was able to read his thoughts, and I felt so much happiness, and so I don't know if this is if I'm supposed to feel this way or this is hallucination. But yeah, this is, and thank you.
And Rinpoche, can I add to that as well, please? I would very well like to know equally about sleeping in the seated position. I want to learn to sit in the meditation posture to sleep. That would be so helpful. Thank you.
Can you repeat this part? Oh, sleep sitting up. Oh, sleep sitting up is meditation as the two ways. One way is, I think it's quite hard. You make the wood like a box. You make a box, and then this right and left part a little bit low, and the front is also not so high, but you can put like this, like a kind of a table, and then behind is a little bit higher, this one, and then you put your blanket around of your knees and back, and then you wear like some clothes as from your back, and then you this hand keep like a 7 posture of meditation on your this downside of your navel, and then you just sit and you meditate, and then the continuously meditate. Then when it starts to go to sleep, let do it. That is the one. If you don't want or you don't have this like a wood box, then we call actually that gomche, how to say, meditation box, or I don't know. Anyhow, second is the meditation belt. Meditation belt. This that one you wear from this you cover from your hips here, and then it's covered in front of your 2 knees like this from here, and then this hand, this your arm ball hold here, and then this your hand, right or left, either one, you hold like this, and then you continuously meditate, and then whenever go to sleep, then this is because these are help you to not fall down on the ground. So
I want to say 2 things. So thank you, and so just I haven't got a box. I'm hoping to just sit. I don't really want to sort of rope myself up. I'm gonna hopefully just sit. Anyway, the point is, I'm really sorry I interrupted Shihab Shahab's question, and I would really love to hear your answer to Shahab's question. So sorry. Thank you.
Oh, you are welcome and thank you. I mean, these part are actually the physically how to do that. Then mentally, you know, right, how to meditate for sleeping. But thank you very much for asking. And Shinha, can you repeat the Shinha's question? Can you what is it called? I can't hear. No, I did not. Can you?
Shihab, can you repeat your question? Khenpo is afraid that he didn't answer your question completely.
Yes, he is, but his voice can't hear.
No, he is muted.
Oh. Oh yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, okay. I don't know about visions. Are we supposed to see visions in this way, or is this some kind of hallucination, which we should not focus on this and just regard it as maybe an illness to have such a vision? Or is this vision part of the meditation? Because it was a vivid vision, and I was able to see my friend entering my apartment, which is miles away from my parents' house. He had a key for the apartment, and I saw him entering, and I was able to like read his thoughts, like going through my stuff, looking at the Buddha statue, reading his thoughts through the vision. So I don't know if this is normal, but this is what happened, and I noticed you were sharing your experiences, so I'd like to share mine. And thanks. So my question was, is this vision normal? Is this okay? Or should we practice just on normal meditation and forget the is it confusion, or is it part of my meditation? This was my question.
Mm-hmm. 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 During his meditation. Yes, during the meditation, any kind of qualities will arise in meditation. So we don't attach too much these things, and also we don't aversion too much about that experience or that feelings. But then you should actually good, because lucid and this part are good things, right? Clarity. These are very good experience. And sometimes have this, as you said, some clairvoyance. These are wonderful, and but the thing is, you should seal Buddhichitta in your clairvoyance and in your clarity. The how to seal is whatever I erase the quality of meditation, may they become cause of benefit, and may they directly benefit all mother thinking beings. You think that, and you don't want to avoid these your experiences, and sometimes if they are bothers you, for example, then you just look at the nature of them. Then how to look at the nature of them is only you watch. For example, you meditate and your clairvoyance arises, and just watch at clairvoyance. Don't try to fix it. Don't try to label with any object. just watch it and itself dissolve in your mind. It does not mean it's completely disappear. It dissolve in your mind, and then your clairvoyance and other qualities increase. More good qualities will increase if you can do that. Okay? Okay, wonderful questions. Thank you very much. And now we will dedicate. Please, you arise Buddhichitta internally, and we do this together. Chanchu Semjo Renpo Je Ma Je Banan Je Jur Je Je Ba Nyam Bar Me Bar Yang Gone Gonda Pe War Jo.
May Bodhichitta, the precious and supreme mind, arise in whom it has not yet arisen. Where it has arisen, may it not decline, but ever increase higher and higher.
Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a wonderful time.